Once upon a time, there was a witch. Of course, no one knew she was a witch. As far as everyone else was concerned, she was a proper young lady, the daughter of a proper and respectful family. And in front of other people, she played the part. But the act of prim and proper and sophisticated and dignified young woman was of course all an illusion. An illusion of which she hated every moment. Because in her heart, what she was a witch. She didn't care about dinner parties. She wasn't impressed by having access to fancy clubs and restaurants. She didn't care to dally in the dating circles of the rich and dignified. No, she wanted to solve the mysteries of the deep, dark unknown. She wanted to peel back the illusion of this world and dive deep into the murky black beneath. And of course her family would never allow her to do this publicly. She learned this at a young age when she came back from the library one day with a big stack of books, each one about something witchy or spooky or occult. And the dressing down that she received from her parents about how unladylike this was and how unbefitting it was of a young girl of her stature and importance. Well, that was all she needed to know. That her parents, for all their money, for all the books in their fancy library, for all the fancy degrees that all of her parents and cousins had amassed, these were not, in fact, curious people. These were not thoughtful people. These were not incisive people with a desperate need for knowledge. And so, she conducted her witchery in secret. One advantage of living in a very old, very large house is there are plenty of strange little passageways. Rooms that once had another purpose but have been long since forgotten. And it wasn't long before the girl found a brick wall that in fact was not a wall at all, but a door. And that door led to a small crawl space and a small room where she could sit and dabble in hexes and potions and scrying, mixing strange essences and eau de magie in her small little cauldron. And so this went on for many years, living this double life. Until one day, she came home and found her secret wall open. She was already terrified at what this could mean. She knew what it must mean. But it wasn't until she saw her secret room that she knew for sure what had happened. Her elixirs and bottles all overturned. Her books burned. Her occult idols smashed to pieces, just little bits of rock on the ground now. For although she was a very smart young witch, she made one large mistake that many young smart people make, which is she assumed that no one else around her was as smart as she was. And in fact, the old passageways in this house were not a secret, not to the people who owned it, not to the family that had lived in it. And when her parents had found what she had been doing for years, they were merciless, and the message was clear. This has to stop. And of course, the young witch agreed. This had to stop. And so she found the one book that wasn't burned, the one book they had missed, the one book they had missed because it was buried beneath the floorboards, kept away from the other books, the one book they had missed because it had been separated from everything else, the one book they had missed because it was so dangerous that she didn't even trust herself to lay eyes on it, so she hid it away so well that they missed it. They missed this book and only this book. And so the floorboards were peeled away, and the book was removed, and the page was found, and the words were said. And soon she heard the sounds, the hideous, wet, choking, snapping, crawling sounds of the things that had begun to crawl through the house. The creatures, the its, each one a creature that defies any description, things that should not be, each one some hideous abortion of cosmic forces, the leftover scrap and slop from the creation of the cosmos itself. She had called them here because this had to stop. But if only one person in this house could have their way, it was damn well going to be her. The